Hello and welcome to A Gameplay for All Seasons. Now it's become apparent that we are going to get an update to Hogwarts Legacy at some point very soon. What very soon means is a bit up to conjecture. However, for all we know, it could be in the next few days at the upcoming State of Play event for Sony. Or if not, perhaps the Game Awards. Or perhaps another event, because it's getting somewhat difficult to fully predict when we're going to hear something on Hogwarts Legacy. But we do know, for reasons discussed in other videos, that we are going to be getting an update. So in this video, I want to talk to you about when we do get this update, what you should be looking for, or at least what I'm going to be looking for in that update, to make as much sense of it as possible. Now, the reason I say this is because we don't know exactly what we're going to get, but it seems likely it might be a trailer. And often the trailers sort of flick from one scene to another and you get a few seconds of this and a few seconds of that. And sometimes there's an awful lot in there. So I think it helps to think of some of the questions, some of the things we want to get answered for the game that you can pull out from the trailer without having to watch it back several times, although I, of course, will be watching it many times. I recommend you subscribe if you are interested in Hogwarts Legacy, and let's get straight into this list. So the first item I want to discuss then is Quidditch. Now, there's a lot of discussion out there on what we're going to get for Quidditch. Now, we have to get something in the game. You can see that from the initial trailer we had. There is a Quidditch pitch seen to the right-hand side of the castle when the cart is coming towards it. So it's definitely there to some degree. What degree we're not sure. Is the pitch just going to be there and nothing's going to really happen with it? Is it going to be you have a mission but you don't really control the character, or is it going to be a full-on Quidditch game? Now, the answer to that changes the complexion of the game quite a bit because some people are very excited about Quidditch. So I think it's going to be very interesting to look out for what exactly do we see for Quidditch in this game. If there's a large segment on Quidditch in the trailer, that suggests that perhaps we are actually going to get a more involved game of Quidditch than some people are expecting. So next item, of course, we know that we've got 3 locations that have been confirmed. We know we're going to have Hogwarts Castle itself, the Forbidden Forest around it, and Hogsmeade. However, we haven't had any other locations confirmed. We have seen footage in the original trailer, which seems to be Azkaban, though it may simply be a cutscene of the Dementors coming away from it. So I think it's good to keep your eye out during whatever update we're going to get to see what other areas may be included in the game. Now, the third item I want to discuss is a blink and you missed it item from the first trailer, which is around ghosts. Now, there was a ghost coming through the table in the Great Hall in that scene. Many people missed it. Even people who slowed down and watched it missed it. Once you've seen it, it suddenly becomes quite obvious. However, we know very little about the ghosts. Now, if you're making a true recreation of Hogwarts, you have to have quite a lot of the ghosts in there and they have to play quite a big part in the game. So it'll be interesting to see what the ghosts look like. And will also be interesting to see which ghosts they're going to include. So the next item is magical creatures. Now, we saw an awful lot of magical creatures in the first trailer. However, I imagine that there is a lot more to come. Obviously, we saw mooncalfs, graphorns, dragons, acromantulas, just to name a few, but there are plenty others in there as well. And I expect in the next update we will get other creatures as well. So again, I'm going to be closely looking out for what we get. For example, I believe we should have centres in the game because of when the game is set. So we should see those if we're in the Forbidden Forest. So it'll be really interesting to see if they're there or any other creatures they could put in. So the next thing that I'm rather interested to see is in the game, and I know others are as well, is whether you will be allowed to fly around on broomsticks. Now, there is, again, in the original trailer, a scene where Christian puts out the hand and a broomstick flies up to the hand, which is obviously going to suggest they're going to fly off on the broomstick. But whether or not you'll be allowed to just free roam around on your broomstick is a bit of a big question out there. Now, of course, I'll link this into the first point, which is if you're allowed to play Quidditch, perhaps there's going to be a scene where you're on a broom for Quidditch, but it's outside of Quidditch. I want to see if you are allowed on the brooms. So the next item I'm going to be looking for, and this one shouldn't be hard to miss if it's in there, and I would say this is the most important of all of the items, is the release date. Now, I think if we get something, they have to put something around the release date in there. If it's a date, all the better. However, it may still be the case they give us a time period. Maybe they say fall 2022 or something. Don't forget to like this if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video.